Good evening everybody, we are back with a brand new video and today we are going to be doing a tiny house challenge. Now I haven't done this before. I don't even think I've ever tested actually putting tiny house as like the house type at the top, but I've finally want to do it because to be honest I do so many small houses and so many that I just call tiny builds even if they're just a quite small house, that I really want to do this challenge. And today we're going to be doing James Turner's tiny house challenge on his website. So this is the website that we're going to be using. This is James Turner's generator and I'm going to be using obviously Tiny Home. I will leave a link to this challenge as well in the description below so that you guys can do this challenge as well if you'd like to. And basically the way that works is we're going to generate a room. It will then give us the amount of tiles that we need to have it by. It's going to be a certain type of style, so obviously this one's Oasis Springs. If you don't have the pack you can obviously just Google what it looks like as well in terms of all the different buildings. It then gives us the rooms that we need to include, so this one's for 2 elders and a child, and then it gives us a budget as well as 2 items that we need to include as well as little pictures so you can find them easier. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate now and we'll see what we get. So we have 82 tiles and it will be from Forgotten Hollow and it needs to include an elder, a young adult and a child. We have quite a decent budget as well, which is pretty good. So we've got 47k and it needs to include a vault modular, which to be fair, like that makes me think that we have to go like more industrial style on the inside. I normally thought that it gives you 2 that you need to include, but it's only given us 1, and I wonder if that's because it's going to completely change up our kitchen. So obviously as an idea of what the different sort of builds look like, it's basically like gothic. I believe it's actually the one from the vampire set, so we have basically like a lot of really gothic buildings, quite old, sort of dilapidated a little bit, so that's going to be pretty interesting to do, especially if we've got to do a more industrial style the inside. But let's crack on and start with obviously the 82 tiles that we have to build for our tiny home. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is try and work out 82 tiles. So obviously that's going to be, I don't even know, I don't know how to work that out. I think I'll just stick one in first and we'll see how big like this general base size is. So this is 40, so that's like, I don't know, that's okay, that's almost half of it. It would only be an additional like 1 to get half of it. So that's not too bad. I do feel like this is going to be ridiculously small. I do forget as well, we do need to turn on our tiny house little thing here that tells us how much we can use per tier. So it is going to have to go up onto a second tier as well because we can only do 64 per tier. So what I'm thinking is that we could have it so that it goes this way maybe. How many's that? 48. And then how many would we need to do on top? The wild part that it does also use up tiles that we've already got placed, so I couldn't do that, could I? Why does it extend? Okay, so there's different tiers, so it's small home, tiny home, and micro home. This is gonna be literally so difficult. Okay, maybe I just have to do it on one level and then it'll be fine. So I think what I'm gonna do is just do it, we'll do it all on one level. I don't think it makes a difference whether it's on the upper level or not, and let's see how big we can get this. So this is 64, which to be fair, it's a decent amount of space. Although I did kind of want a porch, so I guess we're gonna have to put that in 2, and that's gonna take up some of it. We'll do a porch like directly in the middle here, and then I'm gonna extend it up a bit. We'll add some little stairs there, and then we'll change this to just a fence. Then obviously we're kind of going with a gothic style on the outside, so I want to try and mimic that with our fencing that we pick here. Maybe something like this. I think that one looks pretty good. And then we just need like a little pillar in the middle there, and we'll do another one there. I think let's grab just some basic wooden little stairs. Go ahead and do our roof as well. Hopefully I can make this look pretty good. We're going to use this little extended part as I think probably a little bedroom or something, because we do have to have, I think we can probably do 2 bedrooms because we can put the young adult and the baby in the same room because it makes sense that it's her baby. So I'm just doing this in terms of our little roof. I might have to like fiddle around with it a little bit to make it look a bit better. So I'm just going to do that now so that it doesn't look as strange. Thinking something like this for our roofing. I don't know if that just looks really weird. I could actually get rid of that. I do have an idea that I want to incorporate like paneling kind of thing, so it looks a bit more like old Victorian kind of style. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Now we can go ahead and add in any other little bits. I also completely forgot that we have a budget we need to be keeping to as well, so I'm gonna have to just remove all of that and replace it all after we put in our budget. Okay, there we go. So we've brought that back now and we have 45k left, so it didn't really cost that much to do those bits. I do want to add maybe like a little something to the front of this, because a lot of Gothic houses have like these things and they tend to look pretty good. Could add maybe one that's a bit more exciting, like this. How does that? I think that looks kind of cool. I don't know if it's actually the right way though. I feel like it's meant to be the other way around. Or actually, I really like this one, and this one's definitely, because it's from the same pack, meant to be on the end here. Or I could put it over here. There we go. I'm gonna put it there. I think that looks cool. Then I'm gonna include like a little chimney on the other side as well. Do we have any really old looking chimneys? Maybe like this one? Does that work? I feel like that still looks a little bit too new. I think I'm gonna go with this one, because this one kind of does look like it's the oldest one out of all of the ones that we can pick from. All the other ones kind of look a little bit too modern, I think. Then I'm just gonna go through and add in all of our wallings and of course our little rims as well. Then here I did want to do that bit where it's like paneling, so I'm gonna go find that. It's this kind of thing is what I was thinking, just for these end parts here. And then I wanted just classic brick for the rest of it. I think this one matches the color the best. Then we also need obviously this little base bit as well. I'm just gonna go with maybe just this one, but I feel like this one feels quite new still. Nah, yeah, we'll go with that one. I think that looks fine. Then obviously in terms of our outside area, we do want a little path, and then I'm thinking about just adding some little plants or something across there as well. We want to make sure I pick the right color though for our path. I think this one kind of suits the roof that we've got. There we go. Now we're gonna just go in and add in all of our windows and our doors. I am actually going to go inside and we're going to sort out the layout for the inside too. So the way that I was thinking is that this was going to be a bedroom here. It's quite a small one, but obviously this is a very small build. We can maybe just drag all this across and this can be another bedroom here. And then maybe we have a little bathroom in the middle of the two. I do feel like maybe the elder bedroom should be a little bit smaller just because we need to fit less in. But if we extend it out, it's literally like the smallest bedroom ever. Should be fine. Let's see if we can do it like that. And then over here we've got, I'm going to put our kitchen on this side and we can put our living room here. I am half tempted to actually extend this out just so that it's even smaller and it gives us even more room. How is that for a patio? It's very small, but to be fair, you're not going to be sitting on it really. Then obviously in terms of windows, we want ones that are a little bit more fitting with these packs. So I'm actually going to go and put the filter on for the pack. And the one that's giving us for the pack are these ones. They do look kind of cool to be fair. So I might use them just to pull in that pack a little bit more, as we have used quite a lot of the get together pack stuffs at the minute. So I'm going to go ahead and add that one there. Obviously we've got a little bathroom, so I'm going to pop a little window there. I do feel like it's a little bit like, if you put it here, it's a little bit too tall. I want it to be in the middle, so we'll pop it there for now. Then I'm going to mimic this on the other side as well. And in terms of the kitchen, I think it'd be better to actually have like these smaller ones. The windows are that height though. It's really weird. So I think I'm going to do two smaller ones on either side where we would have the kitchen. Something like this makes a little bit more sense. The windows are very low. I don't really know why they're so low. We might just have to deal. Then I'm going to add a little window on this side. Then we can go ahead and pick our doors. Oh, we do have this super nice door, which obviously goes perfectly with our windows. So I'm going to pick that one. We do have inside doors as well, but I am going to change that up because we're doing a different style on the inside of the house. Weirdly Gothic on the outside, and then we're going to go with super like industrial on the inside. So I think a plainer door would probably be better. I'm just going to go with these little wooden doors, I think. I am wondering whether we can mix it up a little bit in these rooms, but I don't really know how we'd do that. I'm half tempted to actually pull these out so that it gives you almost a strange little like walkway, but it doesn't look super great and it's going to make doing the living room a little bit difficult. So I might have to just leave it. So let's go with typical doors here. We could actually go with slightly fancier doors, as we do have a still quite a big budget. We've got 42k remaining, which is a very large amount. So we're going with slightly nicer doors. We can go with these ones maybe. These do look a little bit nicer, but I kind of do need it to only be one square. I'm just feeling like this doesn't look particularly good. I think we will do that just to make it feel a little bit different and not be as kind of boring. We can pull that out, although it does mean that our bathroom won't have any windows, and basically just drag this over. Actually, the bathroom doesn't even need to be that long. It's so long. Let's drag it over this much, and then it actually gives us more space in these two rooms. I'm thinking that we could then have like a little nook where you could put like a dresser or something. So I'm going to get rid of these two. We'll have the bathroom strangely in the middle of the room, and then I am going to we'll do two of these little windows just to let in some more light, unlike this middle room that we have here where you you have no light. And I really dislike this being here, so I am actually going to put the door just randomly on this side section here, away from everything. That does give us much more space in the bedroom, so that's good. I'm happy with that. It is going to make doing these rooms a little bit difficult though, but they will be quite large bedrooms. I think I'm going to start obviously by putting down all of our flooring. I am going to go with just typical wood as we are going for more of an industrial look, and we'll do that in each of the rooms as well. I might change it up the bathroom actually, so we'll do that after. I'm half tempted to actually bring in the bricks into this part. The only issue that I have is that it's very dark, but we could add quite a bit of lighting to make it pop just a little bit. I think I will do it for the kitchen and the living space just because it's quite industrial to do that, where we have the wooden flooring and then obviously the bricks on the outside. But a little trick that I'm going to do is actually bring in one of these and just make it much smaller so you can't see it very well. You can do that on both sides so that it brings in much more light. I'm going to do it in the bathroom as well because we do not have a lot of light in there, so that's always better to do that. Let's start out with our living space. So obviously we do have a fireplace, like we have a chimney already on this side about here, so it would be good to have a chimney there with like a little fireplace and things. It makes more sense, but obviously we do not have a lot of space. So what I think I'm going to do is just add in a small sofa here. Actually, to be honest, we don't need a TV. I'm not going to include a TV. We'll just include a sofa along here and then another one here, or like an armchair here, and we can have a little fireplace in the middle, which should look quite nice then. We obviously do want a rug as well. Something woven would be a bit better. I am actually half tempted to leave that as just an accent wall just because it does look a little bit too rustic, and we could paint the walls for the rest of it. And we do have this one that kind of looks like brick, which looks pretty good. So it does literally look like it's been painted. But is that too bright? I feel like it is a little bit too bright. Or we have this one that's painted even further, and I feel like this one is a little bit better. So let's go with this. And then I'm going to do that as an accent wall still across this side here. Yeah, I've changed it up a little bit and I much prefer this. I think the colors blend together a little bit better. Let's go ahead and grab our sofas. So for this, I'm definitely thinking darker sofas, even brown if we can find them. Something like a brown leather sofa would look really good here. This obviously perfect for industrial. I might actually go with this one because this does kind of fit in with the color scheme that we're doing. Definitely feel like we need curtains as well, but I think I'm going to do that after just so we can try and match curtains to the rest of the room. Then obviously we do have the chairs that do actually match with that. I think that's probably fine. We can use just the ones that go with it, and I'm just going to like pull it in a little bit. Then we can put like a little side table there. My only concern now is that the fireplace is going to be way too big. Obviously can go with like this kind of fireplace, which this one's kind of cool, but it doesn't really match what we're doing here. I have made it a little bit smaller, but this one I think is probably a bit better if we can pull everything back a little bit. Okay, I've changed it up to like a slightly older one, which I do think looks a little bit better because of the darker color, and we can make it slightly bigger as well. So I'm going to go with that, and then we can add some little decorations to it too, which I'm just going to try and stick to like a more simpler sort of patterns and things. So we're just going to go with like this little plant here. I might also add like, obviously we need something for this section here too, so I'm thinking a candle. Then in terms of lights, I'm thinking about adding like 2 little lights either side of this thing, and then we can add something into here. I'm thinking a mirror is probably the best idea. Feel like that would look pretty good, or a picture or something would also work. Just something simple like this maybe. Like, I don't know why, but I always feel like this works quite well. We can either do that or we can do a picture. Let's see what kind of pictures they have. Something in black and white I feel like would look best here. Okay, I think this looks pretty good if we made it a little bit smaller. How does that look? I think that looks pretty good. I do feel like I might need to change this little table here. I do like the stuff that's on it, but it just doesn't work in terms of feeling more industrial. I do kind of like the idea of just having a box though that we could just put here, and then we can put some bits on it. I feel like that looks better than what we had previously. So yeah, let's go with that. It's a bit weird, but I kind of like it. And then we did want a rug, which I'm going to try and find as well. Something a bit more rustic like this, to be honest, would work. I'm going to contemplate that for now, and then let's go see if there's anything else. I feel like this one might work better actually because it's a little bit dark. Yeah, that one looks nicer. Then we do have this massive section here that I specifically left because I wanted to put some stuff on it. I don't really know what I want to put on it though, so let's see if there's anything that it suggests in the industrial section. We do obviously have like these kind of things. I do worry that you wouldn't be able to actually get past if I put something this large there, but I do really like it. I don't know if I can maybe make it smaller. How does that look? I do like that. Just we do have the issue that I don't know if you could actually get past. It might be okay. We'll leave it for now. It should be fine. And then we have our little entranceway here that I'm thinking about putting like some coat rack or something like that there. I feel like just a basic coat rack is probably the best thing for this kind of design. So I'm gonna put that there, and then because there really isn't enough room in this one little corner here, maybe just put some little shoes on the floor as well, just kind of scatter them around here. Yeah, I feel like that kind of works. Then in terms of lighting, I want just one singular bulb at our little entranceway here, because this always looks really like just industrial. I'm gonna make it slightly smaller though, just because it is quite tall. And then we're gonna go over to our kitchen, which is this tiny little space over here, absolutely tiny. And obviously this is where we're gonna use our object that the challenge says that we need to use, which is fine because we've picked kind of an industrial style, so it works perfectly. Gonna go with this wood, as I think this one kind of fits in the best. We can go ahead and add all of our little bits in all the way around. We do not have a lot of countertop space, which is kind of sad. We are literally gonna have like the smallest amount of space. I am gonna have to even swap that end piece out for this, otherwise we wouldn't even have anywhere to, unless I kind of stretch it over. We could have the fridge here maybe. I don't know if that would look weird. We could stretch it all the way over to here and then maybe move this door in a little bit. I just kind of really want this end section here. I think that looks pretty good. So we can go ahead and grab our oven. We don't really have to worry too much about all of the different prices of everything, as we do have a really high budget, which is kind of crazy. If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to like, share and subscribe. But obviously want to make sure we kind of stick with the style that we're going for. I'm going to go with this oven here. Then in terms of our sink, I'm just going to use this little one here that I can put in front of this window so you can still look out while you're doing this. But obviously we do need our big old fridge, which is going to take up a lot of space. I'm going to see how it looks here. I'm a bit worried because I might have to shuffle everything over, which I actually think that would be a bit better. So I'm going to do that. I am also going to do it with this one on this side. Then obviously in terms of our fridge, I really like smeg fridges, but that's definitely not an industrial look. I think it'd be better just to go with just a basic looking, or we can do the one that kind of matches with the little oven that we picked there, which I feel like this is kind of industrial. It hasn't called it that, but I feel like it does fit with that vibe a little bit better. Our kitchen is looking very strange, but I think it's okay. It looks all right. I've never done, like, I think the issue is obviously we're kind of meshing the gothic style with industrial, which is really strange. Then obviously we're going to add all of our little bits into the corner that I always add in, just to make it look a little bit nicer. I do want a bin as well, but I am worried that's gonna kind of take it away. It should be fine. We'll put the bin here. This is a very crowded space, but I do kind of like it. I think it looks kind of cool. I'm gonna add these little above shelving things as well, just to give us a little bit more storage space. I am also going to add, like, we have these cute little pans somewhere. I'm not too sure where they are, where they're just like stacked up. I'm gonna add them on top of the fridge because I think that that should make it look kind of cool. Just adds like a little bit more clutter into the room. Here they are. So they're from the, I think it's the Down Out expansion pack. So they're really cool. I just like them because I think they look nice to like have like stacked up places. I might add a couple more bits there as well, like these things, just because if we do have such, if you had a really tiny house like this, you would definitely use up all the space you could. So I'm just gonna add those things there as well. Then I might also add that little light bulb back into this space as well. Then I'm pretty happy with our kitchen. You definitely have to eat sitting down over here. There is definitely no option for a dining table, but that's fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and do our industrial bathroom. So I'm gonna, basically, we don't have a lot of space. It's literally 3x2, so it's going to be a very small bathroom. But I'm going to do a similar thing where we have the accent wall, but this time we're going to have tiles for most of it. I'm thinking like these kind of tiles, but I don't know if they're a bit too new. But I did kind of think like big tiles, so something like this. I think that looks really good actually. Then I was thinking about having the brick on the back, but I don't know if that's going to look good. You know what? It doesn't look too bad. I'm going to stick with that. Then we got to do a flooring as well. And I do kind of like the flooring that's already there, just because it's like concrete. I wonder if there's like a slightly better one that we could get though, like this. But it kind of looks dirty is the thing. I don't want it to look dirty. This is just your bog standard concrete, which to be honest, I am contemplating just using that. Or we could go a little bit neater and we could go with like this. It's a little bit more used, but I think it's better to not use the bog standard concrete that it's. Then basically what I think I'm going to have to do is put a bath here, and then we can do a sink and a toilet just next to each other here, because our door is like here, which is kind of annoying. We're just going to go with a bog standard toilet. I might actually put it close towards the bath, and we can have the sink here. I'm going to use, I do really want to use the same sink that we picked in the other section for our kitchen, just because it is a slightly better, like more industrial sink. Although, how do the colors look? It does look a little bit off actually, because we haven't got any wood or anything. Maybe like this, because this is very industrial. I'm gonna pick like a blue toilet maybe. I feel like it's a bit weird. Can we not get a grey toilet? Or like this one actually? Yeah, that's much better. I'm gonna pick this one because it's got concrete or something on the bag, and that looks much more like it fits in with the room. Perfect. And then we can go ahead and add in our bath, which I am thinking just like something like this might work quite well. Or we can go with like a more like bath like this. I'm trying to think of which one will work better. I'm actually kind of vibing with this one. I think this one looks super like modern, but also like a little bit industrial. Then we can obviously add our light in. I am going to keep it the regular size this time and just stick it in the middle there. Actually, I'm going to pull it over so that it's in this section, and then we can pick this here, which that definitely has way more of a sort of industrial feeling to it. Then I'm going to go with maybe just one of these more simplistic like ones here. I think the square one works a bit better though. We'll just pop that there. Then if there's any other sort of decorations that I can find, obviously we've got like robes and things. Those always work well in bathrooms. Might do them on this side here. We'll do two because there's two older people living in the house. Then I'm wondering whether we could add like a really tiny mat just here, something like this. Yeah, that does kind of work. I like that. It's a very strange, like tiny little bathroom. I personally wouldn't like it because I like my bathrooms to feel more cozy, but it definitely fits with the industrial vibe that we've got. Then we can go ahead and do our bedrooms. So the bedrooms are the exact same size. Obviously one of them is for a slightly older person. I was thinking about putting like a little desk in there and stuff as well. And then we do have obviously this one that's going to have a young adult and a baby. How old is the child again? It's just a child, which is actually a little bit worse because they're going to need a full-size bed, which is a bit of a nightmare. See, now I'm contemplating whether or not it'd be a good idea to actually try and split it off even further into like more rooms, because a child kind of needs their own room, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because it's just too small of a house, unfortunately. Something that I can do though is actually give them more space, because a child is definitely going to need more space. So let's stretch this out. I'm going to give the child the window, and then we're going to basically put the adult's bed here, and we can put the child's bed here in this little like nook that we've got here. In terms of walls, I'm thinking about paint. Alternatively, we could go with this to give it the more industrial look, but I would prefer it be a bit brighter. So what I think I'm actually going to do is go with maybe just the lighter coat, which I think is like this one, and we can go with a light like this. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. Then obviously we do have bunk beds in here, which I think there is some that look a little bit more like they'd fit the industrial vibe that we're going with, which I think is these ones. Obviously they are quite big, which is kind of annoying. It kind of takes up like quite a bit of space. I could alternatively put the child's bed here instead, but it does kind of take up a lot of the room. So I might just have to not go with the bunk bed in this situation. I think there is one though that looks the same that's on the like floor, which should be fine. Yeah, here we go. So we've got these ones, which I think is literally the same thing, and that's from the same set. So it isn't enough that we can put a bed there. We'd have to put it here, and I think, to be fair, that's fine. We'll do it there. And then we definitely obviously need some light, because we don't even have any lights in here at the minute, which is kind of annoying. So let's add some lights in. I want to try and make this feel as cozy as possible, because at the minute these rooms that we've got do not feel cozy in the slightest. They actually feel a little bit prison-y. Maybe we could actually change it to having carpet. I don't know if that would be better. I think maybe let's do carpet. Carpet in both the bedrooms, but then I'm going to change the walls because they're clashing a lot. If we then change it to the walls that we've got in the other rooms, then that should be fine. Does look a little bit better. I feel like the black and red is better though than what we had previously. Then we need like loads of stuff to just make it feel like it's a lot more kiddie, because at the minute it has like nothing that even looks like it's kind of cozy and for kids. So what I'm thinking is like posters and stuff all across the walls. I actually think that this weirdly fits in like with the gamer stuff. It fits in with the same kind of vibe that we were doing, where it's like industrial. Like, I don't know why that is. I just feel like it looks really good. It matches like quite well. Then obviously we do have a little side tables as well, which are pretty perfect. I'm going to add this one in and maybe make it darker so it's a room. Add a mirror in too, and then obviously we want some stuff on top of our little side table here, and with just a little toy car and then this little plant here. And then obviously we do have a little bit more space, so I'm thinking about maybe adding like a lamp in, because I feel like that would bring it kind of in a little bit more. I'm going to add it just there. This is actually looking pretty good now. I was worried about this kids area looking just not that great. I might also, we haven't added like curtains in anywhere, but I think I'm going to do that right at the end. Then obviously we need the parents section, which is going to be this bit over here. We are definitely not going to fit a double bed in here unless I put it like here, but then it's really close to that other bed and it just does not fit in this room. To be fair, it doesn't need to be like the exact same. It's fine. I'm not like too worried. But I think if we're going to do our parent, then obviously we'll stick with the same bed just because it is obviously the industrial, but we'll change the color of the bed sheets. And then this time I'm going to go with slightly different pictures. I'm thinking just going with something simple like this. Although I am tempted to actually add in a shelf, which I might do. We just add in a little shelf like here, maybe. I don't know if that's a bit too, it looks very big. If I do it like there, maybe. I feel like that works quite well. Then we'll just put like a couple of things on there. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Then obviously we could do with some more lighting, just like directly up the bed here. I think I'm going to go with the one that's above the bath actually, because that one looks kind of cool. If I can make it a little bit smaller. Then over here we need a wardrobe, of course, because we do not have any wardrobes at the minute, and they are going to have to share a wardrobe, unfortunately, because there is just simply not enough room. So if we pick like quite a big one, then that'll probably work better. This one's pretty good. It seems to match like with the industrial feeling. I'm not a big fan of the color though, so let's maybe change that. I can make it darker. That looks better. Then we do have this side as well, so I might have a look at adding something there too. We could add this thing, which is kind of cool. It's just additional like storage space, but it is very bulky and it doesn't, I'm not like the biggest fan. What about books? Books could be quite good. Yeah, there's some bits in here that are like a little bit smaller like this that I think work. We maybe change the color a little bit to match. Yeah, that looks good. Then maybe just something in this corner here. I really wish this fit in, but I think it might be just a little bit too big. Yeah, it's a little bit too big. What I will do though is actually put a more like toys around, because I feel like this kid does definitely not have enough toys. Maybe put a little bag next to it as well. And then I think this corner over here needs something too. So maybe just like a little picture and then a plant on the floor or something. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Could add another plant up here. Yeah, I kind of like that, you know? I think that looks all right. We do have like some more space here on this wall though. I don't know if there's anything else that I would want to include. Let's see if there's any other decorations it recommends from the industrial bit. Do have some weird stuff like this. Definitely not that. We could also literally just put some pipes in, but I feel like that makes it way too rustic. Why does this kind of look like a clock? We do have actually this, which is like for kids and like family planning and things, a family bulletin board, which I think that looks pretty good there because it kind of makes sense with having the kid and the parent in the same room. So now let's go over to our last room, which is our parents, like our grandparents' room. Grab another light so that we have some light in there. And for this one, I still would like a desk. I think that we can maybe fit it here, but I'm not too sure. We could fit like a little skinny one, I think. So let's see if we can fit all of that in. I think it'd be best to have the bed going across this way though. So let's go grab our grandparents' bed first. Obviously we could go with a similar one to there, but I would actually like to mix it up a little bit. Even if it's just something simple like a wooden bed, then it might look a little bit better. This one's quite cute, I think. Unfortunately, it doesn't really match the color that we've already gone with for the woods. And I don't think you can even get it in that color. Although this darker color does work still a little bit better, so we'll go with that one. I did just think of something else though. Let's actually turn that all the way around, and I'm going to put the desk here so that you can look out the window while you're using it. Then we have a little bit more corners to be able to put some wardrobes in. So I'm going to go with this as our table, and then maybe, oh, I don't know, this one's quite nice actually, as our little chair. Then I am gonna give her a little computer to use as well. We do have like a lot of money left, so I'm trying to work out how to spend it all. We could actually do a laptop. This one's the most expensive one though, so I might go with this just to use up as much money as possible, because we are almost at the end. We've got 8,000 remaining, which is like quite a decent amount. We should be able to maybe even add some little bits to the outside and stuff, get some plants. Gonna give her some nice little fancy lights in her room. We didn't actually do any nice lights in this room either, so I'm going to do the same. And then I am actually going to finally use this, which I've never really had enough space to be able to use, so I'm going to use this in next to her little desk here. Then I'm going to give her just this little like wardrobe thing that is just slightly smaller, can fit in that corner there. Then finally we just need some decorations. I need to do all of our curtains, which I do have a feeling like blinds are probably the way to go for that. We do also have this whole section section here to add more pictures to if I would. I am tempted to just grab like a big mirror though, so that she's got a mirror in her room. I think there maybe, or we can put it directly over the bed. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then I've also given her a little like thing where she can hang some stuff up because there isn't a lot of room in this house, and some additional shoes. Then let's go ahead and do all of our curtains. So I am thinking, obviously, these kind of curtains are kind of the most stereotypical for industrial. We do have these ones too, which these kind of work as well. They don't look particularly nice. Obviously, we can get them in black. It does kind of bring in that more industrial style though. But to be honest, like maybe we don't need curtains. As I was just looking at it, I was like, they don't particularly need it. Like the only time you would is like maybe in a bedroom, but I'm not the biggest fan of the curtains just because you can't see all the way through like to the outside world, so it's kind of annoying. These though aren't that bad because you can actually like see a little bit, which is pretty good, so I might put those on those little ones there. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. So we still have like 6,500 remaining, so I'm trying to think of how I can use those. Pictures are pretty much always the way to go because they cost quite a bit, so I am going to go around and just add some additional pictures. We're going to go right to the end and I'm going to look at the more expensive ones. So anything that's got that more like could be industrial kind of style is what I want to be adding, or like anything like this where it's just a picture of someone would also work. But I am going to see if I can fit this in anywhere. Could it? It's quite a fancy picture, so maybe just like here in this room, maybe even in our little industrial room, like bathroom as well. There we go. So we got 469 remaining, which is not a lot. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that we could add in picture wise to just use up that remaining amount. Got this weird little decal, but I don't think that's gonna any chance that would work in here. Actually, we could have a look at adding maybe some additional stuff behind in the kitchen on this section here, like maybe adding these here. We've already got quite a lot of plants in there. I do like to include these in pretty much all of my builds, but I don't know if it's gonna really fit. We could actually lift it up, that way you can't see the kind of wood texture of it, and that still kind of works. I really wish we had enough room for these. We could see if we can fit them in somewhere though. In black they look like pretty good in terms of industrial. The only place that I can think to put them though is like here, which to be fair they still kind of work there, so I think that's fine. Then we've got 56 remaining, so I don't think there's anything else that we can really get for that amount. There's like a couple of bits, but they just don't look that great. We could maybe add like some brambly bits just coming up here. Yeah, there we go. So now we have only 4 remaining, and I think that's pretty much it for our tiny build. That was definitely a little bit of a challenge. I think that the hardest part was actually trying to get everything in there where we had like for an elder, a young adult and a child. The child was definitely the most difficult part. It would have been much easier if it was just a toddler. It was also kind of mashing together the Forgotten Hollow style type and also trying to include that industrial countertop on the inside where we kind of just went industrial with the whole thing. I think it's a little bit mishmash, but honestly I kind of like the house. I think it would be a little bit difficult to play just because of how small it actually is. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post long videos like this every Wednesday and Friday at around 6 PM. I also post shorts the rest of the week. If you enjoyed this video, on the screen now is a recommended video, so check that one out too. And I hope you all have a great rest of your evening.